Hey everyone, so second video, hoping my quality is a little bit nicer. Decided to go ahead and just hold the microphone. Should be better for next week though, because I've got a lavalier. This week, I'm really excited because I finally finished my manuscript. It's way too big than it should be, and you know, it's got a lot of stuff that really needs to be worked on, but I am so freaking excited. I can't even tell you, like, what it means to me. Without further ado, here's what it means to me. One of my big problems I had ever since I was in high school, since I was a little kid, trying to write, is I get all these ideas coming at me at once. I get all these things that I want to do, and I end up writing about half of it and then either getting bored or seeing a new shiny. And so then the thing I'm working on never gets finished. And this was a huge example of that. I started this story probably 7 years ago. The actual writing process did not take nearly that long, but it was write a little bit here, put it down for a while, write something else. So first, a little bit about the book. I'm looking at unformatted, so these numbers mean nothing, 227 pages, which should translate on a normal book somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 to 500 pages. Here's the only thing that really matters is word count, because that's kind of more objective. It's right now sitting at about 130,000 words, which is pretty hefty, especially for a debut novel. So I've got to cut that down significantly. I want to say the original Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is somewhere in the neighborhood of like 70 to 75,000 words. Once you've got an audience, I guess, then no one's going to mind if you up the word count to some obscene amount. But I have zero audience. What I need to do is sort of trim some of that word count down. I'm hoping to trim down at least 10,000, maybe 20,000 words off of it. Yeah, so I'm pretty stoked. It's great to have actually typed the words "the end" and have it actually mean something at all. So a little bit about the whole journey. Again, I started this probably 7 years ago, and the real concept behind it has changed dramatically. Gosh, even since I decided to start taking notes and plot out my plot, everything has changed 100 times over. I mean, the concept was literally just, I wonder what it would be like if there was a person who derived their power from saying a prayer. And I wasn't thinking in a religious, like God legitimately puts power into them, and some form of meditation allows them to connect with some kind of inner power. Okay, what about a team? Okay, and then that team just kept growing and growing, and now it resembles nothing of what I started with. And that's pretty exciting. My writing really took off after I finally sat down, gave up, and made an outline. And I really didn't want to do it because it felt kind of tedious, and I wasn't writing when I should be writing. Who cares about outlines? Who cares about character profiles? And there's a really big airplane flying over my apartment. I live next to an airport. And by just taking a couple of days to plot out what I wanted and to kind of add some more depth to these characters, I was able to just blow through some of this by comparison. I'd say when I started seriously focusing on this was a little over a year ago. Did the outline, did some character profiling. Once I did that, it was super easy because then I just kind of went, what happens next? Let me take a look. Oh, all right, write this scene. Okay, what's next? Okay, then I write that scene. And it didn't lock me in as much as I thought it would because I used Post-it notes. So literally I would just peel off the scene and move it and go, no, let's move that back over here. It makes more sense that way. And it's been a journey. It's been great. So I'm very excited. I'm very happy. My manuscript is finally complete. My next step, of course, is going through and doing some editing. I've got finally a few beta readers. I'm so excited. We've got about 7 beta readers, and I'm very excited to start sending them stuff. I'm going to start from the very beginning, edit chapter 1, go through the whole thing, tear it apart, put it back together, make sure I like it, and then bam, boom, 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 send it out to all my beta readers, and then sit down, wait, pull them up on Skype, pull them up on Kick, pull them up on Facebook, pull them up on the phone, I guess, and try not to have a panic attack as they tell me everything that's wrong with my story. And why in the world would you do that? And how could you think that that was a good idea? And who is this person? And why are they doing this? And why in the world? Once all the panic attack is over, I will take all of their constructive criticism, wipe all the tears out of my eyes, and then I will incorporate that. I will look it over and see what's wrong. All that good stuff is going to help me redo the chapters. Then I will send them, boom, chapter 2. Now, in reality, the fun part is writing. There's a lot of people that talk about how writing is the hard part, and once you've written it, it's all over. But in the research I've done, the people I've looked at, the videos I've watched, the people I've talked to, the fun part is writing. The fun part is very much writing. The hard part is not the writing. The hard part is coming up next. I have to make a huge decision. I either can try to go the traditional publishing route, which involves getting an agent, so that agent can help me get my manuscript into the hands of a publisher, or my other option is to go self-publishing. One of the big benefits of self-publishing is that I get to control everything. Everything I want happens exactly how I want it. That's the idea anyway. And I get to keep all the revenue. Now, everything I do has to come out of my pocket, of course. Traditional route, typically you apparently get like a set amount of money. Maybe if I'm lucky, they'll slip me $10,000 for a book. Not bad. Not enough for me to do it as my main source of income. But then, of course, royalties. But you have to sell X amount of books before you get any royalties. And then those royalties are a small sliver because they've got to pay the publisher, they've got to pay the artist, they've got to pay the editor, they've got to pay everyone. I'm very sorry, I keep looking over at the screen. That's really a bad habit. You'd think I would know better than that. I'm usually behind the camera. So the other thing that I've got to do is I've got to find an editor soon. Fortunately, I don't have to do it for a little while, but that is going to cost me some simoleons. And I do not know the SimCity cheat for simoleons in real life. So yeah, the whole purpose of the beta reader thing, besides giving me an idea of what my readers are gonna like and dislike, is to help me suss out all the plot holes, continuity errors, and poor writing, so that my editor, who I am paying large amounts of money to, only has to do this conceivably once. So just to kind of give you the accordion / elevator pitch one more time on this. In a world where the supernatural is just as natural as the natural, you've got Jonathan Sutter joins up with this group of paranormal policemen, I guess you could call them, because his world just got rocked by a demon exorcism that he was responsible for. And now he's thrust into this new life and this new world. Vampires over here and werewolves over here and demons over here, and he's part of a group that has to make sure all those stay secret and don't eat people. If something like that interests you, I am accepting beta readers. Seriously though, if anyone out there happens to be interested in beta reading for me, shoot me an email, leave a comment down below in the doobly-doo, hit me up on Twitter. Carrier pigeon has worked in the past. I'm not allowed to receive telegrams. Oh, but you could also just go to my website. So make sure you guys hit me up if any of this was informational, if any of this was entertaining, if any of this helped you waste a few more minutes that you could have been using productively, then please give me a like and maybe a subscribe, that one over there. I'm going to be trying to do these videos every week, so keep an eye out for them. And if you have any questions about the writing process, I am not an expert yet because I have not been published. But once I'm published, I become an expert. The mantle is dropped on you. They give you a little medal and everything. But now I can just kind of answer the questions that pertain directly to me, like what my process is, what has made me do what I've chosen to do. Make sure you hit me up on Twitter at Matias Tautimez. I'm also on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. And of course, don't forget my website, matiastautimez.weebly.com.